The hype is so real on this movie that it hasn't been 24 hours since it's dropped and it's already got a massive amount of haters. Black Panther is written and directed by Ryan Coogler. It stars Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o, Angela Bassett, Forrest Whitaker, and Andy Serkis. The story takes place shortly after Captain America's Civil War. T'Challa comes back home to Wakanda and becomes its king, replacing his father after the death in Civil War. Eager to live up to his father's name, he realizes that the politics are more complicated than he thought. He also tries to track down his old foe, Ulysses S. Claw, and he meets a brand new foe that is closer than he ever could have imagined in Eric Killmonger. So like I said, the hype on this movie is big, it's huge, it's tremendous, and rightfully so. We've been waiting on a Black Panther movie forever, and when we finally got introduced to him in Civil War, we wanted more. Chadwick Boseman was definitely a scene stealer in Civil War, and he picks up the mantle so well in Black Panther. His character arc continues to grow from the previous movie, and we see how he has become a changed man after the redemption he goes through in Civil War. He works on trying to be a good king, a strong king, and a compassionate one. I think it's safe to say that Ryan Coogler is going to be one of the big names in directing of our generation. One of the Scorseses, one of the Spielbergs, one of the Spike Lees. One of the things I love about Coogler is the attention he gives to every character in his film. They are all well-rounded, well-thinking, purely emotional characters. From Lupita Nyong'o's character, who's a spy that wants to help people, to Daniel Kaluuya's character, who wants retribution and justice, but he also wants to protect Wakanda from the outsiders. Every character has a backstory and a point of view that you can actually relate to and understand where they're coming from. Not all superhero movies do this. One of the things I really admired from this movie is that it's taking its time exploring the culture of Wakanda. This movie really introduces us to Wakanda and how it's become this great secretive city full of technology and progression. You see that they have more than enough technology to help make the world a better place, but you know exactly why they take it away from people and they keep it a secret. And T'Challa is right in the middle of that problem, trying to figure out what's good for the world or what's good for Wakanda. Now, everybody always complaining about the villains in the MCU, how there's no backstory, there's no character motivations, and Ryan Coogler said, not in my movie. Ryan Coogler developed one of the best MCU villains because we see where this man is coming from. Plus, he brings out a charismatic, fearful performance from Michael B. Jordan. These two together are like De Niro and Scorsese or DiCaprio and Scorsese. They need to be together because they push each other to the best of their abilities. And it was a great choice that Coogler made Michael B. Jordan the villain, because Michael B. Jordan really pushes it to that A game, pushes it to the next level. Now, the great thing about this villain is that he has a connection with the hero. They're the victims of their ancestors, and because of that, they have a point of view of the world. It's not necessarily good versus evil, it's more just a difference in point of views and how to go about it, much like Charles Xavier was with Magneto. But the way Eric Killmonger goes about it is fierce and ruthless and lethal, whereas T'Challa is trying to be a more compassionate person than what he was in Civil War. It is a great story arc that makes this one of the best MCU films. The only thing is that I just wish we had more Michael B. Jordan, because for a long period of time he's not in the movie. And remember that attention to detail in the character that I was talking about with Coogler? He gives a great attention to detail to the female characters. There is no damsel in distress. All the women are strong, they are strong-minded, they are powerful, they are independent, they can hold their own. And their positions mean something in Wakanda. Now, that is a great way to represent women. Lupita Nyong'o and Danai Gurira are amazing in this movie, but they are such a completely different type of characters, completely different type of strength, personality. I mean, seriously, every character stands out in this movie. Even Letitia Wright as T'Challa's sister, she's kind of like the Q to his James Bond with all the technology and all the weapons that she keeps making for him. But they have great banter, great personality. She's so witty, and she's kind of an inspiring character for young girls that want to learn more about science. While the movie is completely grounded on the social messages and the political messages that it's trying to tell us, it never preaches, it never shoves it down our throat, but it also embraces the comic book feel of the material. It really goes for the fantasy when it wants to go to the fantasy, to the otherworldly. This is great world building, this is great fantasy use, this is just great character work. And one of the best things that I can admire from Coogler's work is how it actually connects with the youth today, with things that are going on right now. The social message this movie is trying to tell us is hard to ignore. That I seriously find that this movie is so brave to actually do this in a Marvel movie, in a big budget Marvel movie. This movie actually takes us to Oakland and see what it's like for a little kid in the streets of Oakland to be living in despair in a terrible community and what it turns him into. Now, it sounds like I'm completely praising this movie all around, and I am. I love this movie, but there are a few little things that I thought could have been better in this movie. One, it would probably be the length. I might have shortened it down to like maybe a little 10 minutes shorter. And the special effects. Now, this is Coogler's first time working on a big budget spectacle with a lot of special effects. And I think it shows a little bit. I think the special effects here are really, really cartoony. And I think it doesn't kind of work in a lot of scenes. Especially coming from all the great special effect work that happened in Thor Ragnarok. This one seems a little sloppier. But we can definitely look past that because this is a great movie. All in all, I think this is one of the best superhero films to date. It stands toe-to-toe with Captain America's and even The Dark Knight because it's inspiring. It has a voice. It has an identity. It has something to say, and that means so much. The opening scene starts out with how grim it can be for a child in that community, and the movie ends with how hopeful it can be for children in that community. And it's a great superhero movie to boot. You actually don't even need to watch any of the MCU movies to actually like this movie. It stands just apart from everything else, but it also connects in a lot of ways. So a lot of people will come in fresh, but that's going to be okay because it's going to make them want more Black Panther. I'm going to give this movie 4.5 out of 5 stars. Well, once again, guys, thanks for watching. If you like what you see here, click like at the bottom. Go to our SoundCloud page for our more extensive reviews. This is Ray from LiveWire. And once again, thanks for watching.